year by year I see how it's more difficult for the olives like to grow. For example, I see that olives comes out always more smaller than other years. But basically, for example, this year, this vintage was a disaster in all this area. I'm lucky because my olive yard, the olive yard at my mom's place has irrigation system. But even with irrigation, it's not just a question to water the roots, because if the plant suffers too much, I saw the tree suffers a lot. And the harvest usually started in November and can continue until December. But this year, for example, the good olives were to make a very good oil finish at the half of October, because many olives were over maturation. I never seen something like that, and I think it's because of the warming of area. I'm sure the oil will be good as well. Maybe not as spice, because when the olives are very green, the oil comes out more spicy. Più chili, like piccante.
Yeah.
Un po' piccante. Così verrà un olio più dolce.
Okay.
And now people prefer spicy oil, and the last period is like, spicy. I remember when where I have the big olive yard. Once there used to be orange. The tree were pretty old, so my dad changed. He cut out the oranges and plant olives. And at the beginning, for me, was kind of like traumatic, because I was a child. I was 8 years old, and for me, orange yards was like a forest. And then changing with olives, the olives were pretty small. So, but now I feel like I am very lucky, because olives give so much, even more than oranges. Olive harvest is a very meditating moment. It's a moment where you can just harvest and think, and for my mind it's like a moment also of relax and like
Have you traveled South America other than having been in Cuba? No?
just 10 days in Mexico.
Okay.
It's a dream, because it's like Italian
like not culture but like mentality of it.
Mentality, but
Yeah.
without the church mental restriction.
Oh, so you think it's the church thing that makes it different, like the fact that
There they are also very religious,
Yeah.
I think.
but the whole
But with the sex, dance, and all this thing, we are more shy.
yeah, so it's like a more open version of it. Like.
Yeah.
The olive falls in the tent. Then we collect from this tent and put in the boxes. We use boxes like 20 kilos boxes maximum, so the olives don't stay too pressed. And then we bring to the mill as soon as possible. Of course, the best would be in one day, but we try to be fast, depending on the vintage mostly. And then we bring to the mill, and in the mill the process is first separation of leaves. Always some leaves remain in the middle, and then washing of the fruit. And after they make this paste, they crush everything and make a paste, and this paste stays in this with controlled temperature, and this makes in the paste the oil comes out from the paste itself, and then the liquid part goes in another separate, and the water stays separated, and oil comes out basically.
Wow, record 17%. 17% of oil.
That's crazy.
And look at Etna as well.
Gaetano is a friend of mine. There was a period in which I was working in a cultural project in the city center, and he used to spend all his day walking around asking cigarettes and taking coffee and going around and walking around. And so we became more and more friends. And with the passing of years, he became part of the family, because sometimes when he is alone, for example, we invite him for Christmas and he spends Christmas with me and all my family. And sometimes he also go to visit my mom even if I'm not there. He really have a good perception of nature and of wildlife. So for him, this period of the harvest is a ritual, because first of all, we can stay more than 1 week together every day, because usually I live here, and so for him is a nice moment. Also because he can stay in the nature and with me and other friends that really loves him, and I think he feels very comfortable more than in the town, and more than his everyday routine life, like just going around from one bar to the other.
Lascia la vergine, lascia la vergine, lascia la vergine, lascia la vergine, lascia la vergine. Ta 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 ta. La 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 la. Lascia la vergine, ta 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 ta. Tacchi 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 tacchi. Hola! Ah!
Gaetano!
Sì, dimmi amore.
Often he stay like there and write poems. I remember just the beginning of one that I really liked, Il mentre, l'andar degli animi, assopiti teneri. This soul like assopiti, like half sleeping, half not, tender and tender. And then continues, like he wake up and it was like, in the poem he say like, and then I wake up and it was like spring.
Sì, è bellissima.
Fagliela vedere.
Guarda, vuoi fargli una foto? Però tienila tu.
Falla, metti tu, dai,
Io e te, vai.
fagli vedere.
Vai io e te, teniamola io e te tra le mani così.
Fagli aspetta. Metti, falla prima. Aspetta, falla prima.
Facciamola vedere bene.
Metti.
Aspetta.
Alza.
Mio turno!
Primavera! Primavera!
I mean, like he's kind of in love with me, but because for him it's very weird that a girl like have confidence with him. He doesn't really work. He's like sometimes hanging the ladder to be sure that no one falls, or help bringing boxes. So sometimes, but most of all, like animation. So I like to finish the harvest with a little celebration. Last year was pizza, this year, I don't know, tomorrow we're gonna make a little party for San Martino, even if we still have a few days of harvest, but it's fine. But anyway, always make some tasting evening with all the other friends. I like something that I like to celebrate the oil. The yield this year is higher because they're more dry, there is less water, but the quality is getting worse. So probably plants will need more irrigation, will need more protection by bugs and other stuff. And because when it's so hot, like this year, it's November and we did the harvest, so it was like summer with t-shirts and a lot of sun, days of kind of tropical temperature. is the worst for olives. Warm air makes the plant took more sickness, but it's the mix, like a very extreme temperature, and it's getting more difficult to save the harvest. The oil is still good for luckiness, I don't know, but the maturation was very, very anticipated.
Ghiacciato proprio, pazzesco.